Education is barely one of the sectors that southern Cameroon's Ambazonia has lost as consequence of the unholy union with La République du Cameroon. It is in line with the attempt by La République du Cameroon to assimilate southern Cameroon's Ambazonia that all that was Anglophone in southern Cameroon was infiltrated with Francophone by the colonial La République du Cameroon's government. Since the executive powers were systematically narrowed to Yaoundé and in the hands of the dictator rulers of La République du Cameroon, top-ranking positions in Anglophone institutions were given to Francophones in replacement of Anglophones whose positions shifted to that of their subordinates. Institutions that Francophone had no interest in heading were simply shut down, and the Anglophone workers were still sent to the streets without any sympathy for them nor the mouth that depended on them. Well, sadly, this is where we begin the full briefings of Undaunted tonight. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, Onyi. Good evening, Ambazonians. The most cherished Anglo-Saxon system of education, adulterated by La République du Cameroon in what they termed a harmonization move, Francophone teachers of no English background were sent to teach Anglophones. These teachers were rather on teaching them than teaching the children. This is one of the immediate causes of the peaceful protests in 2016 by lawyers and teachers. Lawyers and teachers because it was the same scenario in the courts where Francophone magistrates were sent by the Buea's regime to lord over common law practice courts, of which they were blank. The University of Buea in 2 days will be celebrating 30 years of existence. It is within the context of the upcoming celebrations that the pioneer Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dorothy Lumunga Njuma, warns that the Anglo-Saxon origins should not be forgotten. At 30, the question we ask is the Anglo-Saxon status of the University of Buea still intact?
As the University of Buea, Cameroon's first Anglo-Saxon university, prepares to celebrate its 30th anniversary this week, the institution's pioneer Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dorothy Lumunga Njuma, warns its Anglo-Saxon origins should not be forgotten. The 30th anniversary of the University of Buea will be celebrated on campus this May 25th to 27th under the theme University of Buea, Impacting the Future Together Through Innovative Solutions. Professor Njuma, who is now a retirement, traces the institution's Anglo-Saxon origins in a documentary the university released recently.
She says the Buea University Center was transformed into a full-time university in 1992 decree, following intense pressure by Southern Cameroonians on the need for an Anglo-Saxon university. The University of Buea grew out of a very loud protest for an institution of tertiary education that could be a continuation of what English-speaking students had at primary and secondary levels. That was in 1991 at the University of Yaoundé, at the time where English-speaking students were on strike for a university that will better suit their background.
And the strikes became so agitated that the La République du Cameroon's dictator Paul Biya, under pressure, signed the decree in February 1992 to transform the university centers of Buea and Ngoudomere into universities. The University of Buea was to be styled in the English-speaking tradition and the University of Ngoudomere in the French-speaking tradition. Many people have forgotten that, and the decree of 1992 has been shoved to the background. So we see many texts now on university activities without mention of that decree, Professor Njuma said. As stated by the pioneer Vice-Chancellor, that was the premise for the creation of the University of Buea, but it is not what it is being obtained of late, as the assimilation tendencies of La République du Cameroon have changed it into something else, with Francophone lecturers littered everywhere.
The climax of the debate about UB's Anglo-Saxon status being depleted surfaced in 2021 after elites of Akonolinga subdivision in the La République du Cameroon Center met with the institution's current vice-chancellor, asking for an extension of UB's education and research activities to the community. Sensing that this request meant the creation of an annex campus of UB in a French-speaking area, chiefs of the Atlantic Zone resisted the suggestion in a release fearing it would completely defeat UB's Anglo-Saxon status.